Wow. I have a comfortable dog down there at my feet. She really wanted to be in here today, so I set her up with her bed. Not feeling that well. I woke up this morning early to her throwing up. And yeah, it's only me here with the 3 dogs and Phoebes. And I'm on time this morning. Because I did wake up early. I still slept for 6 hours and 45 minutes or so. So, you know, a little bit of caution this morning. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good. We're back in this environment. Wow. You know, when I saw this morning, I actually became a little bit excited. I thought it was a good opportunity for me to potentially show how well I can adapt to my mistakes of the past and how quickly I can learn. I don't want this to come off like as if I know what's going to happen, because I don't want to be associating the past with the present that heavily. But all I do know about balanced environments is that they offer limited risk until they're broken out of, and they have the opportunity to be tricky to enter, and it's just maybe not as good of an opportunity to trade. FT set at 808. Continuing in the theme of buyers capturing territory and then lingering. No indication that sellers see this as too expensive. But anyway, we have this balanced environment. And essentially the resistance has been put in here at around 90 stock zone. And support has been put in here at the 74 area. So between these two areas is pretty much nonsense. And we have to have a lot of caution. I would say that beyond 74, it's still a lot of caution into this previous week's settle and naked volume point of control zone. So basically 68, or let's just call it 67-ish, to 90 is a really no play zone here. So limited opportunity for mean reversion would be playing outside edges, and we have a bias to the long side in the higher time frame context. So mean reversion trades out of this area targeting this and this may work the best in the balanced environment. And we just wait patiently for something to change, meaning we look for a clean break and an impulse through either the high or the low, and we look for the area that was once resistance to hold as support. So this usually is seen when one opportunity tries its hardest but becomes completely exhausted, and the other side takes control and impulses very aggressively out of the area that was once being auctioned heavily. So that would be an ideal situation for clean continuation. Although what may be more likely is a grind out of this area in either direction, which it's a grind in a direction, but it's displaying that it's a grind for auctioning value. So it's not as clean, and it becomes harder to enter trades with good risk reward because the market tends to have like pretty deep retracements when we see that sort of grinding move out of a location. So today is the type of day to have caution and to keep up with the context. So the little things matter today. And although it may be tempting to take a nap sitting at this desk, rest assured the little details will be important today. That could be seen yesterday here when the market one-ticked the high and then took the low. So this showed that there was no interest here at 98. It didn't really look all that special, but it was just a one tick and then bang, bomber, bomber, bomber. Test the low. Come back up. Ton of order flow in here. Test the auction. Reject. And what does it do? Takes the IB low. And then what does it do? Tries to fill the gap. So, yeah. So our plans today is essentially expecting to be stuck in this area until we see one side or the other take control. We're aligning with stats today. So if we open underneath 89.25 value area high, 89.5, then we're opening IV. IV open gives us a 41% chance of reaching the prior high a day, which we know sellers really applied themselves at. We have a 66% chance of touching the prior value area high, a 73% chance of touching the prior VPOC. The prior VPOC is also in direct alignment with overnight volume point of control, so I am certainly anticipating that this value gets touched today, which also makes this short, which I narrated in my head as a short right here. Prior session low has a 40% chance, which is currently sitting at 73.5. So slightly less chance than the prior session high. 69% chance of the prior close, which also sits on top of 82. So this area is going to be touched very likely. It's a good mean reversion target to start. And not to mention that there's a lot of volume put in here, so yeah, price may gravitate towards this location today. Yeah, and that's what I have for now. There's a 31% chance both IBs are hit. So it becomes a matter of which side takes control. And at the open, when the context is which side takes control, depending on opening location, we could have trades. For example, if we open up here, and the market tests higher, but shows some sort of rejection, we know that this is a high probability target. So, definitely ability to short. Same thing if the market opens up lower, which is kind of not anticipated at this point, but we still do have 30 minutes. We see signs of buying, then we have clear-cut target, and then we could potentially hold a runner for higher towards the other side of the range, and vice versa. So those are the types of trades that it's like which side takes control. And if, let's just say, the market impulses above 90 this morning at the open, and we see VPOC migrating with price, and it offers a long, but we still know that we have this below, it calls for aggressive management because we know that this has high probability. So it becomes like an all-out situation. Like if I was to go long on a break of 90 for a drive this morning, I'm going to want to be all out by the century figure. Because the likelihood of breaking the century figure and going on to 12 before getting to this area is very small, in my opinion. Yep. Yesterday, felt a little sluggish yesterday. Yeah, I feel like some average normal tiredness like right now, but like a little bit of yawning and whatnot. But overall, I know I'll feel awake this morning. The opportunities this morning felt very fast. And they were pretty fast, but I should be able to start catching some of them. So what I'm going to do in order to compensate for that is I'm going to have my chart set up to a 30-minute interval and a half a point range. That's how the chart's going to be opened. That gives me like 3 minutes of watching the open and capturing all the information before opening up the chart. And with the market being so sensitive and at this period of time in the morning, and also knowing the location that the market's opening in the higher time frame, it gives me the opportunity to operate with a scalpel. So that's the practical solution that I'm attempting at in order to not miss early opportunities. Yeah. Yesterday I took another really shitty fucking mean reversion trade when the IB was set. Let's see. Yeah, this. So this was what I was talking about yesterday. Opening drive, potential long that I missed. That's why I'm doing this practical solution. Market drives higher. Long, did not catch the scale. Missed long, did not take this long. Break higher, test the mean. I missed this long, but it's whatever. It is a potential add. One tick the high. No interest in higher prices. Bomber. Auction the mean. Bomber. Test the low. Come back up. Liquidity steps in. Here's the volume. Here's the liquidity. Price comes. Tests this area. Rejects. Holds. Rejects lower. Auctioning the mean. Fully balanced. Impulse lower. Okay? Before any of this is present. Down here, It is 10:29:15. IB is down here. If this is too high, then maybe this is too high. IB is going to be set in 15 seconds. So patience, wait, put the story together. Too high, rejection. Too high, liquidity, rejection. So don't let the balance or the earlier condition lull me to sleep. I need to stay on top of contextual changes. Because this is the third day in a row that this has happened. And at this point, it's embarrassing that I'm taking the same trade 3 days in a row, and every single time it doesn't work. And this is the third time that I'm saying it to myself. So I'm learning this lesson 3 times. Developing new rules and practical methods for recognizing context today. That was my strongest attribute. Rather decent alignment, but just didn't pay like he could have. Not consciously recognizing the shift in context after the market one takes the high. I set up a new rule yesterday. Rule book. Managing targets. If the market misses my target narrowly in a blow-off fashion and then breaks structure, I am allowed to take profit because I will consider it horseshoes. This is the key right here. I will consider it horseshoes. There's no precision. So let's take a look at that. Okay, short on the IB, scale, target, gap fill. I'm front rushing it by a 1.25, which is part of the reason why I didn't move it. But what happens? Bang, 811 stops, misses me, look how close. Comes back up. There's a little bit of volume here. After this blow off, and the key here is not necessarily the volume. It's the fact that we blew off to the downside and then within such a short period of time came right back in. The coming back in part is where all the warning bells go off, and essentially I'm looking to exit. I'm looking for the door. Here's the volume. Here's the blow off. And we break. Once we break, I'm out. I'm happy. Okay? That's the management style when it's close to my target. Horseshoes. So, there's that trade. Yeah, so the market created a new high a day past that resistance zone, which was also an LVN at 89 yesterday. LVN, resistance, 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 all resistance in here. The market blew through it. I'm not necessarily sure what to make of that. I think that still it's balance and mean reversion context. So that doesn't mean like I enter from the middle because we broke this. That's certainly not what that means. That's what I would do even like last week. And if I wasn't like just paying attention, I would probably do it right now. I'm just all over myself with this balanced context now. I want to become the master of balanced configuration. Maybe it just means patience and sitting on hands and not trading at all. Or maybe it means just being more conservative, but also still taking solid mean reversion trades that align with context. All right, well, it's time to get ready. So let's see if FT is hosting a Trader Bite today. He is. All right. Okay. 928. So, as we can see, that short would have worked decently well. This morning, we're expecting to hold within the prior day's range, which is 73.75. No. And if we break and hold below 70, then the next potential test, Riley, you got to go away. The next potential test is 40. Overnight high is at 92. Okay. A lot of stats below. Notice liquidity in the book here. Today, FT is expecting price to fall beneath 83 to test 70. So, but he's also anticipating that we stay within the prior day's range and we just sit here and chop. He said that in this environment he moves towards the NQ, but I will not be doing such a thing. So no rush this morning. If we don't, if the market is going to test down, we don't catch it, no problem. Swing high, test low. Another test low. Holding here. No migration. Another test low. LVN here. Break above. No test into the levels. Pretty strong buying here. We have these areas above, but this looks like a selling structure. Where's my MBO data? Okay, well, we're testing into the value area. Narrow miss. Wow. That's a really big sweep. Potential migration. VWAP to VPOC potential. There's a test into 84.75. Liquidity steps in here. No test of 82 yet. No structured trade yet. Balance. Notice the balance stepping in. Here comes 82. And there it is. So there's all of the stats taken. And we are in balance. Look at that. Huh? And where the fuck is my my bullshit? SI on chart. SI. Okay, nice. Large sell ice here. So 930, test high, test low, test high. Bomber, auctioning the mean, falling lower. Complete balance here. LVN at 87. Push up to that 90 legend fail for the opening swing high. It rejected 88 stock zone, and as long as it holds, we'll expect this overnight stat to go. Overnight stat at 77.25. Yep. So here's another break of the low. If we get a migration here, it's a short. But first we got to see if the market's rejecting that area or if it's over it. Because keep in mind, this is a balanced, very, very balanced area. So initiating a short here, it's probably not a good choice. I would probably want to wait for this or just miss the trade, to be honest. I don't think it's worth it. Because the likelihood of testing into this LVN is pretty high. Okay, no migration yet. There it is. So either we have VWAP to VPOC or VHVN, or we get below here. So we see sellers step in around the VWAP, retest of the volume, looking weak, but we know we have stops above and a potential price check. Here's liquidity. They pull. Test. Sellers. Why do I not know how to market order in. I just tried to market order, but I fucked it up again. When I'm selling, I gotta sell from underneath. Migration back up. Here's a test of the LVN. So market order is below price selling. Balanced. VHVN. I was hoping that price is going to come lower to exit, but maybe I shouldn't. So we're looking to see if 87 is too high, and especially 90. Balanced here. Outside edge here. After testing 82, there's a retest. It's the outside edge. Is this inside out trading? Is this like a viable thing to do? $87 was the outside edge that I called out. Within the first 10 minutes, I'm losing. And that's not uncommon at all. So yeah, it squeezed 87 and then failed. Outside edge is still in here. Needs to keep grinding if we're going to get overnight low instead of tightening wedge. Migration down. It's a short. But where does it get to? It would technically fail here, but up here I'm a lot more comfortable, I would say. Tightening. Longs are on the hook, so got to stay below 85.5. Very choppy. I would like one of your finest scales. So yeah, inside out trading with the migration. Turns into a short after holding this 87. VWAP to VPOC after the migration does not hold up. This is an area we could see a strong response edge of consolidation as buyers and sellers battle it out. Oh, that's not ES. Yeah, so we're looking to see if the market gets on the other side of this 82. Very kurtotic profile here. My stop loss is fairly well hidden, which is nice. And overnight low is sitting at 77.25. So we got 78 here. That's the idea for proper risk reward. This all steps in, but I anticipate they would probably pull. Yeah, I'm good with all out. So this is inside out trading here. That's like one of the first good inside out trades I've ever taken. And we did have this clear rejection of 89 and a test of a low. Hold of 87. And we haven't hit the prior settlement at 70-ish. 69.5. Prior value area low here. So this is a high probability area that we're front rushing. Migration downwards. That's a short. Scale is fairly difficult. You have to scale by this. And the outside edge is still up here. So in this situation, we're looking for retests into the outside edge for potential short. There's not a lot of range in the middle here. Outside edge is up here. We see some support here. Can't really discount it. Also, FSV WAP at 83.5. So that's what we're auctioning, and it's the area that we got to start holding below. See, you can't take this because you have this. And if you take this, you have to scale by this. It's not really feasible. When we got this migration after putting in the volume down here, then the area to check was down here, which gives me enough range to operate. Here's a price check, and we like to see this push after the price check. Now, we would like to see it hold under here. We would like to see a further break, obviously. So market order has to be taken by right-clicking under price for a short. Shouldn't be so hard. Another pretty balanced open. Yeah, no shit. This is the edge. It'd be nice to see it just fall out. We have this guy here. So right now we're in balance, and we want to see if the market is going to impulse in a direction and aggressively break one of our two locations to the upside or downside. We anticipated this behavior. I'm aligned for a move to the downside after seeing the rejection of 90, but anything could happen, obviously. Testing into outside edge. If it's going to test, I anticipate it'll test higher than this. Into here, into liquidity. We're in balance here. All the DGP is on top of each other. And we have the IB30 in 5 minutes, which could certainly act as a guide for direction, price direction. Price is attempting to retest this location. We'll see if it gets smacked down or not. We're auctioning higher now. Maybe migration, most likely. So we test the high, we hold the mean, we auction higher, and now we have a migration. Potential migration, I must add. Let's see how the market reacts to migrating. Putting in more volume lower. So it's another test here. So we're back at the mean. We price checked this. Now let's see what happens on the third check of this mean value. Z's, 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 Z's. Z's nuts. Okay, IB30 set. I wish my Discord worked. Fucking bullshit. It's frozen. Okay, this might be it for my trade. There's no auction out here. This liquidity is staying firm here on this outside edge. Is it what I want? $86.25. Motherfucker. Not enough range. Yeah, it looks great, but there's not enough range. That liquidity stayed. We got the test upwards. Now we're testing back down. We just got a VPOC migration. The market moved the opposite direction of the migration. So we might get a migration back down here, which in turn, maybe we'll get a reaction to the downside. We do have the IB30 set. We did just test higher, and the market said too high. That liquidity held. So there's hope. Maybe. I'm starting to see a little bit of rounding activity. There's still potential to test upwards. I'll anticipate that this will act as resistance, at least for a little bit. Sellers have the opportunity to take it here. See the book thinning? These guys are flashing, and price is also flashing with it. Look how that works, huh? So, algos have a somewhat of a hold on the short-term price action. They need to get out of there, or we need to thicken up on the other side. They're manipulating price. $482, $446. NQ gets some. It's just more price. So even if it's not moving as much, you could still catch volatility on the NQ. But I'm fine with sitting through this because I need to learn how to be patient in this environment. Yep. We're only 3 points away from the IB30 low, but we're also only 6 points away from the IB30 high. This 82 area is very well auctioned. So what we're currently doing is we're testing the upper bounds into here, and the sellers are pushing the market out of this area and they're pushing it into this high volume, highly traded location from both of these sessions and also from this overnight session. And the buyers are attempting to hold price above 82, which is the mean. If the market breaks and holds below 82, then the opportunity comes to test the outer bounds of this location. And we have high probability targets, which is the overnight low and the prior value area low. So we're looking for a break and hold of 82. So test lower, break higher, right back in. And that tells me that 82 is at least temporarily too low. What does that mean? I'm back on the hook. So yeah, this area could very well hold if the buyers could still find the will to support this 82 price. The sellers are still stepping in here at the mean, at retail price. So the sellers have control here, and the buyers have control here. So if this is too low, then we'll check here. And then we'll see if this is too high. And then we'll see if this is too low, too high, too low. Coming up. Well, what do you know? Too high. It could always still come back up because we have this auction now that the buyers have to support. It seems like there's no buyers here. We know that there's buyers here and here. Discord. Bullshit. Uninstall. Discord. Uninstall. Bye. Discord. Uninstall. Discord download. The more we hang out here, the more likely it is to take me out. Ooh. Oh, I'm back. Let's see what Tom's saying. 10:08. Tom's waiting for the next bucks. So far, we have mean reversion to naked volume point of control, overnight volume point of control. Too low ATM. And there's also not enough range on a short. Liquidity's trading. Buyers take over. Stops getting run. Testing into the low volume area. Broken the swing here. And yeah, I'm comfortable with next bus. So, and if we break to the upside, then our potential trade is IB30 continuation, because I'm not going to short this knowing the statistics and the range. And that's just subject to my plan. Here we see exhaustion. Yeah, we got the setup here, believe it or not. That was a short. No fill. $2.5 point stop for the win there. And it's a short targeting this migration. Price is bouncing off of that. There's barely enough range for a scale on that. 86.75, 84.5. There's not even really enough range. Ish, I just took a short break. For me, I thought the short opportunity on the retest failure of 87 was solid, yielded risk off nothing else. Since then, I've just been standing by. This is the kind of environment I want to be more risk averse in. Good setups don't always pay and sometimes can be a loss, i.e. short 87. So for me, I'm likely to wait for IB or some new catalyst or piece of auction information. And it looks like this will be the end of me. So it turns into on to the next. I will be surprised if I don't get taken out here. Although the auction is saying too high, but this migration and buying back up to this area, yeah. This was the indicator here, followed by this. This and this. That's the indication that we're going to come up here. Now we price check the outside edge, and the market checked the mean, but the mean was too low, and we got the migration. So now this is still on the hook, and there are stops up here, including mine. Sellers still stepping in, like this liquidity right at the outside edge. But the market's starting to hang around here. Yeah. Here it comes. Oh, still sellers. We did get a test higher, but we didn't get a test lower. Tom says, be aware of compression. This IB stat coming will be, whichever side takes out, will be a big indication. Tom says, tested overnight volume point of control / naked volume point of control. Okay. So maybe that's it. Maybe it will go higher. It did test it, and it is holding it. IB30F, MR, etc. Says Tom. IB30 failure. There's an 89% chance of these if testing IB. IB30 failure. Yeah, fuck me. Liquidity, IB30. Has to be a target. No range. These are better to leave. Testing the mean again, testing this volume again. Patience. Always follow your plan. Risk reward is part of qualified structured trades. The way that this becomes worth it is if I risk less than 2.5 points. IB30 failure. Less than 2.5 points makes the risk reward worth it. In this situation, do I keep my stop loss tighter so that I could take a structured trade? Probably. I think there's something like a 14% chance that neither of these get hit by 10:30. Tom says, remember what balance is. Coil. So if the balance is a coil, and they haven't been tested at all in a long time, then there's potential for IBC because of the coiling motion. It's energy. So although we have the stats that it's most likely mean reversion, this is energy related. It sounds so counterintuitive because we're in mean reversion. The market's completely balanced. So doesn't it make sense that we have mean reversion? But what if we break out of this area to test one of these? Then maybe it's a true break and we target stats in either direction up the break. Certainly possible. It's all dependent on the behavior at the location. I keep pointing up first because I believe I'm anticipating a test upwards. After this, there's still sellers here. So I don't know. It's really a complete coin flip. Here's some selling. So from this consolidation, we've released lower. But don't expect much because we know buyers are present here and here. Have to note though, it's the kind of quiet that precedes big moves. Yeah, Tom and John are saying the same thing. We're on our toes.
327 sells top.
IB 30 hit. Let's see what this looks like. We're still holding a runner. So we see stops come out and liquidity step in. The market's back down here at the low. Overnight low, prior value area low are both on the table. And at least before 10:30, there's a 5.6% chance of this. And now that we've broken this, there is a after 10:30, there's a 71% chance of this. But we're now auctioning 82. This is an important reference for us to hold below, and this is also the scene of the crime here at 83. I'm just looking for trades at the edges / key levels. Stay out of the middle, says Balanced Trader. Yeah, so like shorting this is a bad choice. We got liquidity stepping in here. Ah, fuck. Stop is supposed to move here. But I really like the protection of this. My book map's all wanked. The experiment calls for this. If it fails here, then it will go into the logbook. We do have a very high probability chance of reaching here. But we also have a high probability chance of breaking this. I can't do it.
$156 by stop.
Migration? No thanks. I know your antics. I'm not doing it. Don't do it. It may be structured, but I don't care. It's also about context. IB, do I further move my target? Yeah. I do. Wow, I got filled even better than what I thought, huh? Whoa, I didn't get filled for a while. That's weird. IB 30. I mean, IB 60. That's the target. So the migration holds. Not exactly sure what's going on. My limit is at the low of the day on the MES, but not on the ES. Now this 82, got to break and hold. So we see too high, back at 82. Not catching a solid bounce here. And here comes some sellers. IBL is at, 79.25. So front rush that. That is the location. Tom says valid shorts here. Valid short. Yeah, really tricky though, Tom. Follow the story and levels. Where, oh where, is the short? IBC. We do have IBC, but very tight scale. Okay. Yeah, so we have previous low a day. We have overnight low. Prior value area low right on top of each other. ES looking to take out its IB low. Yeah, I was not comfortable with shorting that. I don't know about IBC here. Here's an auction. Believe it or not, you could short with a really tight stop. 1.25 points. Yeah, that would actually work. With a scale before the IB, you would have been risk neutral on that and aligned for IB break, holding for this and this. That was a tap of the IB low. Maybe a bomber. What do I know? ES double bottom at IB low. $82 to $83 to observe. 82 to 83. Yeah. So we have a double bottom here, and the market is potentially granting us another opportunity to get in short. certainly don't get lulled to sleep here. So we got the reversal off the double bottom. Test of 80. VHVN, previous volume point of control. Here's a test of 81.75. We got 5 stops. Looking for higher, but maybe we won't get it. Maybe this is it. Looks like it's selling structure. Here's the bottom of this volume. Might fail out of here. Here's some volume created. 81.75 is the volume. Test 82.5. Let's see a break to 81 for a potential short against this volume. Price check, 81.75. Testing the high. Some volume here at 82. Price checking 81.5 again. $81 to $77. It's really the best I could do. Wow. How about that for reading microstructure? Triple tap. Yeah, so yeah.
$210 sell stop.
Yeah, we're going for overnight low, high probability statistic, then 75. Liquidity be pulling. Patrick says target low 74, then 94, then 4913, but we'll leave trading to some. But me, until one of those are hit, what do I know? Yeah. I have zero pressure in this trade. I don't have any expectations. We do have some quote unquote low hanging fruit here.
$163 sell stop.
That is pretty nice.
114 sell stop.
Stop loss to break even. This is definitely better than this. I might try 20 days of not moving my stop loss at all. But also I could probably just run the numbers like according to the last 20 days. Like, okay, how often would I have made it instead of whatever? So the next opportunity is IBC here. So we got blow off and then test and break. This looks somewhat similar to yesterday's structure of the trade that came all the way back and raped my ass. Excuse my French. It definitely swept all the stops in here. Previous week's high. Previous high day. Those are all locations. ESIB low taken, overnight low taken. Next target, yesterday's low and Friday high area. Below that, I'm looking at the point of control from Friday. 67s and 59s. Here's a test into IB, but it looks like it's not selling off. That's for sure. We got a bunch of volume here. We got that blow off and then a retest and then a break higher volume. Test into this structure. Test into the IB. This is the line of defense that kind of needs to hold for me to think lower in the immediate time frame. This becomes a short. Look at this guy holding a price. Makes me not really want to trade this. Because if I'm going to short it, I should short it here. If it breaks here, then the likelihood is it's not going to work. That's kind of what I've been figuring out with some of my limit orders. Also notice the LVN here. So yeah, 78.5. And then your risk is to 80. And you get scaled at 77. Here we are testing the low. One tick the low. What does this mean? Potential failed auction? If it continues out of here, then no failed auction. But this is something to be weary of. Is there any participation below this? If we break above here, maybe finished. Not going to put anything in the group. So that was not a failed auction. As we have broken the low and liquidity is pulling, but iceberg is stepping in. Here come some buyers. I know these motherfuckers are gonna fucking front rush the shit out of this. I got pee. Not finished. Not finished yet. Still going. Still going. Ugh. Still going. Cannot stop. But this is likely my final trade. Unless we see some really interesting behavior. IB test after what looks to be a failed auction, at least in the short term. This is pressing up on this volume, and we have a slight failure here, but we do also have a bunch of volume in this location. And we did just get this retracement, so yeah, could certainly work. And look at that. Bang. So maybe it's just cleaning up. Maybe it's a retracement. Maybe it's a fucking, I don't know. Support. Now we gotta break this. I got some more stats. IB stats. So the stat would be if IBF probability of IBF each time afterwards. Three-point scale. If IBC probability of IBC each time afterwards. 3-point scale. This is probably it. 3 trades today, huh? wanted to catch more. IBFing. Okay. That's all. Yeah. 76 horseshoes? I don't know. Probably not. A lot of stops down there. Watch and see how we test VWAP. Don't want to see this above. Well, I'm finished. Because I have to finish my journaling today to take my lizard to the vet. Also, the market's moving not so nicely. I want to take these dogs for a walk. And, yeah. Okay.